I'm Bob Sweeney. I am a co-host. This is called the Other Prince William Podcast. And the reason we call it the Other Prince William Podcast is because there is this guy who lives across the pond. His name is Prince William, and he's going to be king someday. What are we going to be in this community of Prince William? So I'm here today with my other co-host and my best friend, Martina Greet.
Hey, everybody. So happy to be here. And Bob and I have the pleasure of chatting with one of our friends today, Rico Fleshman, who is also a member of the amazing class of 2024. We do more. We do so much more. Let me tell you about Rico. Rico was born and raised in Virginia, and he has a professional history of serving nonprofits, working in business development and also employment programs for persons with disabilities. What is not on my card is that he is also an incredible creative and a filmmaker. And I'm going to make him talk about that too. But we're so happy to have you. Hey, Rico.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, Rico. So before we get jumping into the hot water of keep Prince William beautiful, can you share with our audience where you came from and how you got started working in the community? You bring such passion to your work. In fact, when I first fell in love with you, Rico, it was because you cared so much about this community and the environment and stuff that you do.
All right. So, I mean, like most of us, right, who have made our second and third acts in life, my path has been meandering. It's been wandering, right? I have worked in the federal government space for 20 years doing contracting. I worked with an advocacy group that did lobbying for transportation rights on Capitol Hill. Ultimately, I bring that same passion to everything that I do, right? Because I've been fortunate enough to work for companies and have jobs that mean something and mean something to me, right? They have a quantifiable and tangible impact on the environment, right? Or on people's lives. And so those are the things that drive me and get me up and get me out of bed in the morning, right? I found Prince William beautiful kind of through luck and pluck. I was leaving government space and managed to talk to the previous executive director. What was supposed to be a 15-minute call ended up lasting 2.5 hours. And I then told her that I was going to take over the job, and the board of directors agreed with me and they brought me on. But my love for the environment and my passion for the environment stems from me loving to be in the environment, right? I love to be outside. I love to be in green spaces. When I'm outside and there's something that's litter or pollution, it takes me out of that experience. And I know that there are many, many, many people who feel that same way. So now I have a chance to actually do something about it, right? And so I take that very seriously. I take the charge that I have with educating people, and particularly kids, and having kids from different backgrounds now understand and see that they can also be in this space and have a job that makes a difference to the environment is a big deal for me, right? And I take that very seriously.
I love that you talk about your path being kind of a winding path, Rico. Whenever I talk to young people, young professionals, they always kind of want to take a straight line, right? And they want to know the purpose. But what I love about you is that you found purpose in every place that you've been, right? And I think that's essential. So can you tell us about a project or initiative that really stands out to you like, oh, that was a really cool thing to do?
Yeah, I mean, there are several of them. So first of all, we get to do a lot of creative stuff in this role. I'm not hamstrung by policy or by lack of creativity. And I have told my staff over and over again, every week I probably say it 10 times, it's the art of the possible, right? We're talking about litter, we're talking about, composting, we're talking about recycling. Those things in and of themselves aren't necessarily sexy, right? Nobody gets out of bed and like, I want to go pick up litter today. But when we have these projects that we can build around those things, particularly around education, then it becomes exciting, right? And when we get the opportunity to create them. So to answer your question, that's kind of to Richmond through Texas, but to answer your question, we've had a couple. I putting the artworks, partnering with OmniRide, with the county, with some sponsors that we've had, with the chamber, and putting artwork on bus shelters is, in my former transportation life, I saw that program and I was able to then bring it here, and thankfully had some partners who supported that.
Hi, I'm Lovey Hamill. I'm CEO of Employment Enterprises, and we're so proud to sponsor the other Prince William County podcast in order for us to celebrate our 45th anniversary. You can find us at www.eeihr.com. Call us when you want to take the stress out of hiring.
So that increases not just the face value of the community, right? But it makes a difference to the lives of those people who take public transit.
That's right.
Right? And so we have the artists create artwork with an environmental theme. And they're bright and they're colorful and they're animals and they're birds. And so, anecdotally,
Prince William beautiful.
and they keep the place, all of the places where they're located, it keeps those places beautiful and ergo Prince William County. But anecdotally, they also have historically, we've seen a reduction in litter and vandalism when those things are in place, because then people care more about their neighborhoods and their environments. So I love those things, working with underprivileged groups, working in some of the neighborhoods that are the highest crime neighborhoods in the county. Those projects really make a difference to the people. When we go and we plant trees, we give them green spaces, we clean up the litter, people stop and they take notice. And then they notice that their neighborhoods can look just like anybody else's neighborhood.
Oh,
Right?
love
I
that.
love it
I
too.
love that.
I literally was talking about to my staff today about you and what great work you're doing with OmniRide, but also over in a part of the community that is, needs more uplifting. And they were saying how you go in and plant trees and it's just absolutely amazing.
I'm in loafers one day and waders the next day, wading through the ponds, and then gloves and boots the next day, digging holes.
So many people who are making a difference today like to talk about their why, the Simon Sinek's of the world. And can you tell us, but I believe in it. I believe we all have our purpose and we do our why. Can you tell us what your why is and kind of how your why collides in a positive way, intersects with Keep Prince William Beautiful?
Yeah, my why is very simple. I'm selfish. I say that not in a bad way. It's okay to be selfish, but I like things the way that I like them, right? And I know that I'm accomplished enough. I also know what I don't know, but I know how to get things done. And that fulfills me, right? Accomplishing these missions, be it small goals, large projects, smaller projects. My why is to get the sense of accomplishment and leave something behind me that wasn't there when I got there.
So enlightened self-interest.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Again, like I said before, this is not a sexy mission, right? And you're trying to draw people from all walks of life into what we do. And so it's a lot of the times, my messaging to them is we're not pointing down our fingers at people and making them feel guilty and making them tune out, nor are we asking people to do everything under the sun. We're asking them to do what they can, where they can, and then we meet them where they are, right? And those help us accomplish those small goals, large goals, big projects, little projects, and then we get it all done. That intersects perfectly with our mission as mandated by the county and the state, as a matter of fact.
I am often inspired by you, and I say that to your face.
By you.
Yes. So, I mean, I feel very lucky that we all did share the LPW experience. So lucky, because there's a lot of peer-to-peer mentoring that we experience in that space. But who have been some of your mentors? Like, were you just born with this love for earth and people, or was that
A lot of things, Martina, but yeah, my love for the earth is absolutely one of them. I mean, it's maybe made too much, but I hate to wear shoes. And I've always hated to wear shoes since I was a child, because I like that feeling, right, of being outside and walking around in the grass, and and that translated through the rest of my life. I've had a lot of mentors, right? I mean, I worked some of one of my professors in college, a little 2-foot Italian man who has been one of the formative forces of my life, really taught me, what it meant to communicate to people, how to be truthful to myself. And he was one of my English literature professors as well as my academic advisor, but then just became a friend of mine over the course of my life. If you read the book Tuesdays with Maury, he's been my Maury. several gentlemen that I worked for in the government space who you would think, necessarily would be regimented and rigid, and they so weren't. They taught me a lot about how to conduct business, right? And how to conduct business truthfully and get my messaging across, but more importantly, how to get things done without business speak and without all of those things that kind of slow down the process, right? We just say what we mean and we do what we say.
OmniRide is your transportation provider for right here in Prince William County and beyond. We have lots of local routes in eastern Prince William, Manassas area, all of which are zero fare. We also have routes that can take you to the metro station zero fare for access into DC and points beyond. Just as important, we have our services on the I-66 and I-95 corridors if you need to reach the Pentagon, Crystal City, and of course our nation's capital. OmniRide is a proud sponsor of the Other Prince William podcast.
Everything you need to know you learned in kindergarten. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So it's all about really breaking down the barriers and being basic. Speaking of which, one of the most important things that you do in business, nonprofit management, whatever, is figuring out how to evolve. How are you looking at your future, at seeing how our community and Keep Prince William Beautiful is evolving?
I mean, it's like trying to paint on the side of a moving train, right? Because
Good way to put it.
yeah, exactly. It's so I was appointed by the board of directors in 2021, in September of 21. So I'm approaching my 4-year anniversary here. And even in that short amount of time, we have changed so much. We have become now this face of environmental projects in the county, and we've made so many more contacts than we had, previous to that. And that was just a matter of, we have to be in the community. We have to be where people are to get our messaging out. And then we have to build these programs. And so once we did that, now all of these things follow, because now more people know who we are. We have more programs in place, like the Prince William County Green Business Council, which did not exist before. So now we have that as an organization.
Oh, that's a legacy.
We
That's going to be great.
Exactly.
Only you could get me on the side of a highway picking up trash. Only.
But if you want to riff a little bit more, I'd love you to tell our audience about the environmental sustainability cohorts you have now.
I will. I absolutely will.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Incredible. I just went through it, audience. I am a proud graduate of a 8-month program, I think it was, and it was fantastic. You learn more about your community going through Rico's Keep Prince William Beautiful environmental sustainability cohort. I went through with 5 other people who I didn't know. And I fell in love with that group, actually. And
you become close. Yeah.
you become close. You learn about the trash. You learn about picking it up. You learn about the streams. You learn about the, I call them the dumps, but we don't call them dumps anymore. We learn all waste spills for something. I love it. So, but you learn about it all. And it's really, really important. Clean water, clean air, clean water acts, all the kind of stuff that DEQ does every day.
Yep.
We don't deal with every day.
Exactly.
And so it was really, really nice to be able to see how you ask the business community to become aware so that they can help change the world.
Right. So it's not enough
at a time.
just to make the ask, right? You have to give people the tools to do what you're asking them to do. And that is the whole impetus for creating the Green Business Council, right? There was little targeted towards businesses that give them the tools and resources to do this, but we asked them to do it in the county. So that was my ask of the state. And DEQ helped fund this program through us. And so we continue to run it. But as far as that course, I thank you for saying that, because it's been a pet project of mine. I love it. Education is always key as far as I'm concerned. But even with that course, and talking about the evolution of KPWB with the Green Business Council, even with that course over the last 3 years, the course has evolved.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Rico. That's great insight. One of the most important things about being a business owner or a nonprofit executive in this world is figuring out how to evolve your organization. Where do you see taking the Keep Prince William Beautiful organization, and how is it going to evolve in the future?
Yeah, so I think evolution is necessary, right, to continue to meet the needs of our constituents, the residents, the businesses, the county, all of the organizations, all of the people that we're beholden to in the county. We have to evolve to be able to meet their needs. Be that through overcoming language barriers, establishing more programs that dig deeper into neighborhoods, partnering with additional organizations, additional county agencies. All of those things allow us to then become a better resource for the people who rely on us for information.
Yeah.
And so, again, like I said before, it's like trying to paint on the side of a moving train because those things are happening in motion.
Yes.
And so you have to be cognizant of where your shortcomings are, what your needs are, to then be able to address those things on the fly to make that evolution happen.
You're the perfect person for that job. You are, I mean, you can focus, super hyper focus, but also paint on the moving train.
Right.
So you have to be flexible in
Yep.
order to be able to evolve and see opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities.
And you have to be optimistic because
Right.
that is something I will always say about Rico. You're so optimistic and you see like great things ahead. But what are your challenges, Rico? What have you had to face? How have you navigated that in ways that our audience can apply?
So again, every nonprofit or every executive director sitting in the seat of a nonprofit would say that money is their number one challenge. And I can't disagree with them necessarily, but I don't think so because I run this organization like it's a Fortune 500 company. And nonprofits are not my background, right? I've only known business development, mission support, policy. And so working from my background, my own personal experience, I'm able to then lean on those things to get around the challenges of money. For example, creating the Green Business Council is a source of revenue for us now that allows us to then implement programs, additional programs for businesses in the county. Whereas that was also an obstacle, is getting the businesses, to draw them into our messaging and have them do things other than like the handful full of companies that follow us around and always want to send their volunteers. That's great, but I need 4,800 of those in Prince William County as opposed to just 48. And that would be one of my other issues is volunteers. Volunteers is always an issue because you're asking somebody to then come and work, and what we do is not easy work, right? And it's
I got very dirty.
Litter on the side of the road is not a sexy thing. I'll say it again. So it's how do you get people to do that when they're not ordered by the court to do it?
Yeah.
And that's okay because those people, they fulfill their hours. They fulfill our mission. I appreciate every single one of them that comes to them. I treat them like a human being and they get their work done. But volunteers is always an issue. I could use 488,000 volunteers in this county. That's the exact population of Prince William County, by the way.
$488,000.
And $488,000 too. And I would say the last one is money, which I know I said it wasn't, but money is, because if I had more money, I could do more projects,
Yeah.
right? And not necessarily be hamstrung by not necessarily be limited by the obligations of the grants that we receive now or the discretionary money that I have, which are 9 times out of 10 also committed to other things. But I'm not unique in that. Ask any business owner,
So,
right?
so Rico, as we wrap up today, how would you tell other business owners who want to make a positive impact in our community, but they have no idea where to start? How do you tell them where to start?
There's a lot of not knowing what you don't know, right? And so it's not be limited by that, because sometimes a lot of times people say, "Oh, I don't know this," so and it makes them immobile. They don't do anything. As opposed to, if you're a business owner or a business leader, if it's a small business, large, mid-sized business, it doesn't matter. You can always task somebody out with finding out about the organization, finding out where opportunities are to volunteer, to contribute financially, or support the projects in Prince William County. If you're here as a business, you have the responsibility to the county to make sure that it's a place where all the residents, businesses, organizations, people want to be.
Yeah, where they can thrive.
Right. And when we thrive, we all, right? It's that rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah.
Right. And so I would tell them, first of all, they can always call me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, seriously, I have having a network of businesses, having a network within the county. And this is not just with the county. We're talking about Manassas Park, Occoquan, Dale City, Dumfries, all of those places we work with. And we work with all of the organizations in those places. So fortunately enough for me, I come into contact with, and I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of resources. And if I don't know where the answer is, I know how to find the answer.
That's
Beautiful. So that's what I would tell them. Just pick up the phone first.
Yeah.
Or send an email.
Great advice.
Before we close this episode, though, I told you I was going to talk about you being a filmmaker because it's so cool. I don't have a lot of friends who make documentaries. Like, give me a break. Rico, I downloaded it. It was only $1.99 on Amazon, okay?
Thank you for that.
I did, yes. Will you tell us about Hope City, right?
Hope City.
Yes. Tell us about your documentary real quick.
So we made a couple of years ago, we visited a little place in Virginia called Pamplin City, which my buddy and I were going to visit it as a ghost town, and ended up talking to the vice mayor while we were there. And the long and short of it is that they just struck me. The city's history, its people, where they are now, where they were then 5 years ago is when we made the film. And their vision for the future, this very humble, small town, and they are not alone, right? They tell the story of small town America now, and that's what I wanted to capture. They have an amazing history. And so we made a documentary. I got the Virginia Preservation Society on board. We had the group that runs Jamestown, and they run the the Virginia Endangered Cities list, which Pamplin City was on. We got the help of the mayor and the railroad and the National Park or the Virginia State Park Service on board, and we interviewed. And I think I did a really decent job of telling their story. They were very humbled. We won a couple of awards for the documentary, and it was a lot of fun.
It's a
It
cool.
was a lot of fun. I'm on it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of very.
Cool.
I will tell you that since we filmed that documentary, the 5 years later story, and everybody asked me if we're going to make a 5 years later, I am not, just because of where I am in my life, but I think they deserve to tell this part of their story. But so much has happened to them since then, and amazing stuff. And the town is now being redeveloped. I talked to the vice mayor about a month ago. There's now 7 businesses in that downtown. The railroad donated the property to them so that the state could bring the trailhead into Pamplin City. So now they have shops and restaurants, and it was an amazing experience.
Thank you so much, Rico, for joining us today. Thank you all for listening and watching. Please be sure that you follow The Chamber on YouTube. You can find us on Amazon Music and Spotify. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and join us next episode.
And pay that $1.99 to Rico for his movie. I cannot believe I haven't seen it yet. I'm so excited for you, but I'm so excited for me because I haven't seen it yet. I get to go now have something on my target list. A huge thank you to both Employment Enterprises and OmniRide for sponsoring this series. We thank you. We couldn't do it without you. And Rico, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you for uplifting us all. You are doing God's work. It's beautiful what you're doing for our community. So thank you.